Jets wide receiver Brandon Marshall, I've never heard of him, was very vocal about wanting the Jets to re-sign Ryan Fitzpatrick last year. This year, though, he's reconsidering that approach. He said yesterday, quote, you want to just read it?
I think last year, the whole Fitz situation took a lot out of me. My job is to be a wide receiver. I'm getting out of the front office department. Is that Brandon from the Broncos?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, there are two of you, so it does get confusing. But Brandon Marshall, what do you think about what Brandon Marshall said?
You almost got on that one. You know what? I was asked a question about our quarterback situation and what happened last year. And basically what I said is, when your teammate is going through negotiations, you feel that, especially when you're a wide receiver. Like, everything that he does affects me, right, and vice versa. Like, I need this guy to be successful, whether that's on the field or successful in taking care of my family. So I stood on the table, and I would do it again because that guy had an amazing 2015 year, and we only had a couple weeks to put it together. So I thought going into the offseason, if we had the entire offseason, we would be 10 times better. It didn't happen that way. But the scrutiny and the energy that, I felt that year, it was like, no, you know what? It's time for me to just play wide receiver.
I loved that you did that, though. Can I just say, I loved that you were like, we got to sign him. That's my guy. Because a stamp of endorsement from you for Ryan Fitzpatrick goes a long way.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's time for us to change some things in our culture. And one of the things that we do is when our teammates are in situations like that, it's like, oh, that's their business. Yeah. He'll take care of that. But I think that we should see more of that where guys stand up for each other. And that's why I did it, is because I believed in him. He's my teammate, and we fight every single day together, every single Sunday together. And whether it's on the field or if it's at the board table, we should be doing the same thing.
I really took your advice to heart because I made him my fantasy quarterback.
So did I.
So did I. And I totally believed in him. And I'm like, it makes me feel good to know that he believed in him too, and he actually.
I had Fitz and Tyrod Taylor.
I mean,
and you.
I'm sorry. You didn't go to the playoffs either.
I got close.
If you don't want to work in the front office for the Jets, you know that the 49ers are hiring GM positions, and they'll hire anybody.
What about
He's too qualified.
He's too qualified. What about that? John Lynch, really?
Yeah.
I love it. I love the hire.
Well,
it's a copycat
for you.
Well, I'm not going to go down that path. I'm doing the things I love right now, but I love outside the box thinking. Again, we're talking about this culture and this tradition that we have in the NFL, and we say that it's a copycat league, right? So that means whatever Bill Belichick is doing, because he won the Super Bowl, the Falcons done.
Deferring the coin toss.
We're going to do the same thing. We're going to hire their guys. But how does that work out usually, right?
Right.
So I love guys doing their due diligence and scanning the league, scanning the entire universe and figuring out ways that they can do it their way. And I commend the 49ers for that.
The Jets this year, to get back to like the Ryan Fitzpatrick part, it was an example of a change in football that I don't like. Football, like different sports, there are reasons that they're great, right? Baseball, it's probably the history of the game. Basketball, it's the artistry and the individual greatness of select players. Football, the greatness about football and the thing that separated it from the other sports, aside from the violence, was that it was the ultimate team game. Like, that's how it was sold to us. That's how it was built, even when I was growing up. And as the rule changes have become more and more significant, the ultimate team game has so often turned into the ultimate quarterback challenge. And it's not so much about your 1 through 53. It's about the quarterback, has more impact. He always had disproportionate impact, but now such a disproportionate impact that it outweighs players 2 through 53. The Green Bay Packers, players 2 through 53, no disrespect to those guys on the roster, but I'm disrespecting for a moment, are a bad football team. But they were in the Final Four. The team that plays here in Houston, players 2 through 53, is good about just about anybody in the league. Your Jets.
Brock Osweiler is a very talented quarterback.
Yeah, you almost got it out. But Brandon, your Jets are a great example. Like players 2 through 53, not the very best in the league, but in the top third. And when the quarterback 2 years ago plays well until week 17, you're right there. When the quarterback plays poorly, you're not in the picture at all. And if I were you, I'd feel helpless. Like, man, like the rest of us don't matter as much as the one guy, and that's to me made football less enjoyable as a whole.
Well, again, it goes to that point that it's a copycat league, and everyone's trying to build that structure where they have an excellent head coach who can manage everything, a quarterback who's a superstar, and we kind of got away from the fundamentals of football, right? The fundamentals of football is what? It's simple X's and O's, and it's tackling and blocking, right? Running the ball, being able to stop the run, and we got away from that, playing complementary football where the offense complements the defense complements special teams, and we got to get back to that. We got to get back to those days where how the Baltimore Ravens won the Super Bowl off of their defense, right? We got to get back to those days where Seattle Seahawks won games because of their defense, their running game, and their special teams. So I think there's hope because there's a lot of bright minds now figuring, like the 49ers saying, you know what, enough of trying to do it this way. We're going to go do it our way, and people will figure it out.